I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma, and I am glad to be back.
And I'm Hannah, a stay-at-home mom in Texas, and I am deep, deep in the Shatter Me universe.
This is the Don't You Two Read podcast, and hi, guys. So, we're back for our book club book. It's been a while, guys. I'm a little rusty at this podcasting business, but I'm okay now. Okay, so today we're talking about the book Shatter Me. We spun our little wheel for this, and yeah, I have thoughts. I don't know if you have thoughts, but I have thoughts.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, it's by Tahara Mafi. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's talk about this book. So we spun for it on our little wheel, and I was excited because I've always heard about this book, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Maybe because it came out before, like I always said, I just read things because I don't know how, word of mouth, but I never read this one.
Was this your submission?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. What year did this come out? Um, 2017.
No, no. Okay, that was that edition, like the updated cover with the eye.
Oh, okay, okay.
The old edition came out in 2011.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes much more sense to me when you think about how the book is.
So you were 21 when this came out, and I was what, like 19? Because I'm trying to put myself back. I'm like, where was I? I don't even, this book was not even, I didn't know anything about it until probably a year ago.
I was in, okay, so I was 20 when it came out, and I I guess I would have been finishing up my second year of college.
Do you remember anything about this?
No.
Okay, so I don't either. So that's my question.
I
Was
remember
it
the cover,
popular?
the eye cover. I have seen it in bookstores.
Yes, I do. But okay, so apparently though, I mean, there's like a million ratings on Goodreads. So like this book and series, I think is like very popular, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know, living in my own cave, I did not know anything
I
about it.
think it's just because I was in college, and I've always said, like, once I started college, I was kind of out of it completely with books. So I think the only thing I read in college was Nicholas Sparks. So I was
Yeah.
that's it. Like, and whatever was on sale at Target that year, I would just buy it, and that was like the only book I read. So, but anyway, this book. So I'll be honest, that's one thought. So I just want to address it while we're talking about it. I I truly think if I read this book in 2011, like that Hillary would have just like eaten the book up in a different way than I would now. And I think it's probably like the same reaction as if I would read Twilight now for the first time. I'd be like, oh my God, so many issues, so like very problematic, very YA, all the complaints. And then, but like at 20, who I feel like that's the age this is geared for.
You think so? I think it could go younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
Well,
young adult, I feel like 16,
yes, yes.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that type of age.
The Twilight age.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's back up. Let's first say what this book is and what it is about.
Okay. I thought, I was telling Hannah, I thought this was a dark romance for so long based on the cover. I don't know why. I was just like, oh no, that's not for me. I never even read the back, nothing. I didn't know that this is a dystopian book, which I don't know where dystopian falls on the genre. Would it be like, I don't know, not science fiction,
Sometimes
but
I think
not
sometimes it can.
fantasy?
Okay, but see, I think this is fantasy because
Oh, yeah, like magic.
yes. Okay, so Shatter Me is set in the dystopian world that is controlled by the reestablishment. The reestablishment is a ruthless governing body. Juliet is a girl with a touch that can kill. She's been locked up in prison, which I would say it was a mental like asylum.
Like a hospital, mental hospital. Yeah.
She was locked up by the reestablishment for a little less than a year when they take a new interest in her as a potential weapon to be used against their enemies. Did I ever hit record?
Yes.
Oh, every time.
I'm
The
like, this is like our
trauma.
day one.
I
Day
know.
one.
Okay. So then it says, okay, fun fact, Shatter Me was published as a trilogy with two novellas, and then later, like much later, it seems like the author decided to revisit the world and add on three more books and two more novellas to expand the story and to provide closure for the characters. And then she also made a spin-off series, which I think just came out like this year, of one of the characters. So she's starting like a whole new series about one of the
In this
characters.
world.
Yes. So that's kind of what the setup is, and the main character is 17, and
Hmm.
I mean we have a range like 17, 18, 19 I would say are the characters' ages.
Very young, yeah.
And I have a similar like it did I do have a lot of feelings that feel similar to Twilight. Not the love that I have, because I have love for Twilight. This one is different. I do think it's the same audience
Hmm.
that would probably mesh with this. And then,
Hmm.
like you said, very like lots of like problematic, toxic
Hmm.
behavior for sure. And that's just in book one.
Yes, yes. Very much like insta love. Major, major. Probably one of the biggest I've seen for
Yes.
any book.
Yes. And part of me, part of me was acceptant of it because I felt like the main character, I
She
don't
was
feel
very, very abused.
she was abused and she was like isolated. I
Hmm.
mean, solitary confinement for like pretty much a year. Not quite, but almost. And so, of like the first guy who gives her any sort of like positive attention at all, she clings to. Which so I can understand that. Like I can see why.
Yeah.
But and also because she knew him. I don't know. Are we doing spoilers in this episode? I would
Yes,
assume so.
spoilers. Yes.
So she knew him like from her childhood, but they were not like friends, but she knew of him. So I felt like her mind, it just, I guess it made sense, but it was also just like wild. And the whole time I'm like, oh my, why? Like, what substance do you two have at all?
None, even less than Edward and Bella, I would think.
Yeah, none, none at all.
I'm trying to congregate all my thoughts. So the first thing I noticed in the whole book was like the scratching out. So let's talk about that. Like that's a huge part, at least of book one,
Mm-hmm.
less as you go on, like in the first novella, which I did read after that. But especially in book one and especially in the first half of book one, I mean a lot of scratching out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hannah did go and listen to the audio for that just to see because we were curious, like what would that even sound like? But it was it was very chaotic to me. I'll say this, I'm acting like I did not like the book. I did like the book. I still enjoyed it. If I truly hated it, y'all know I have DNF'd a book club book before. I will DNF it if I just can't do it. So I did like it, the book. I did enjoy it. But also, felt very chaotic to me. So, and Susie, who's one of our book friends, she did have a point, and she was like saying how she thinks it is to show basically the mental state of Juliet in this, like very chaotic, very confused, very you don't really know what's going on, very stressed. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. But if so, it worked because I was confused. I was stressed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, the writing style was like any grammatical rules went out the window.
It
Like,
felt like a what is that writing style? Like train of thought. That's what it's called, like a
oh,
train of thought writing style. Like, it's a journaling technique, and they say just like anything that
oh,
pops in your brain
like
at
a
all,
stream
just
of
write it down.
consciousness.
Yes, That's what I was trying to. Yes,
Yes.
the stream of
Yeah, like there are
consciousness.
no commas sometimes. Like it's just
Yeah,
like
like anything
running
that
on
pops
and
into
on and
your
on.
head, you don't have to think if you should feel this way or if it's true, just write it down. Yes, stream of consciousness. That was it.
Okay, it'll be like two eyes, two birds
Yes.
flying outside, dark outside, running. Like that, where you're just like, what are you doing? And then you have the words crossed out. So like very choppy, very
Hmm.
vague,
It does
confusing.
get more cohesive as the book goes on.
Yes,
I felt like
I do agree that I think it was like poetic.
artistic choice. Yeah.
Yes, it was purposely. I think you're either gonna love it or hate it, or you could be like me. I tolerated it because I was just like, what is going on? Like, so I get it. I get that that was her point, but it was an interesting element that I don't think that I've read a book that has done it quite like that.
Yeah, and I don't like how when you play the audio book for me, I didn't really love how they did it, but I don't know how else you would do it in an audiobook format
Mm.
because it's like I want to go to the store. Whoosh. I want to go to the store. Whoosh. And like that's supposed to you're supposed to know that means she crossed it out, you know? And
Uh-huh.
so I don't know.
Well, and then, this is a side note, but like I've read other books that have things crossed out
Uh-huh.
and like
Oh,
what was
Twilight
it?
does it
Oh yeah, Twilight
for
does it.
Jacob's book.
I don't know how they did the audio for that. I'd be curious.
I'm sorry, Jacob's letter.
Yes. But Jurassic Park does it. I think it's in The Lost World. There is a part where they're reading someone's notes and there's a lot of things crossed out, and I was like reading it and listening at the same time, and they didn't even read the things that were crossed out.
Mm,
And I was like, you're missing the whole, like, so I think it's interesting. I think that people maybe it could go, like, how do you do audio for that? Because
mm-hmm.
one was like, well, I'm just not gonna read it at all, which I think is a disservice
You
to the
missed the
book.
point.
Yeah, but then audio, it's hard to say that too. So interesting. Um, and I think it would be very confusing to audio listen to it because I listen to book. Guys, I'm on book four, so I'm on the journey. But I listened to book four. I have not listened to audio for the rest, but I think it would be very confusing just based on this experience for book four alone, because you do have some of those moments where like she keeps a journal and so it's in italics, but you can't italics on audio. So I just feel like differentiating her, what she's written down or what she's like thinking in that moment or what she's saying to someone, I think it's harder to catch any of those things on audio versus reading it with your eyes. I think that these need to be with your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what was my next thought? Okay, so then I guess let's talk about the characters. Juliet, I mean, we have a few, but I mean, I feel like in this book there's three main ones. Juliet, obviously, Adam, right?
Mhm.
And Warner.
Mhm.
So I feel
And
like those are the three main ones.
and I would like a special mention for Kenji, who
Yeah,
I
the
just
side character.
he's a side character, but I love him. And that he's my favorite character. So,
So what do you think of the main people?
I think they have like very little personality. I don't know that I could give you like a character profile that would say much.
Yeah, Juliet, I'm not a big fan of her. I'm not a big fan. And I get like she's gone through a lot. I said in our little book club book thing that she reminded me of Eleven from Stranger Things. Like
Oh yeah.
all the things she's gone through, all the like that kind of felt like her vibe. Like she was tested on. Now, I think 11 we got to see more of her like the flashbacks or whatever of what she had gone through and it made more sense. This felt like kind of jumbled. So I didn't feel like I even knew, like you said, I don't feel like I knew Juliet that well. And
Hmm.
Juliet didn't even know Juliet because she would look in the mirror, or like she hadn't looked in the mirror. She's like, I don't even know what I look like. I don't,
Hmm.
which is crazy. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It was a little confusing. That's how I would feel like I felt most of the story. Um, Adam, I don't fully trust Adam. I just like the insta love was too much, too fast for
Hmm.
me. But again, teenage me would have. probably been all on board with it and had no issue. Like, oh, they kiss, so romantic. I don't know.
I was instantly suspicious of Adam because I'm like, why are you obsessed with this girl who's got a million issues? Like, I just, I don't know. Instantly, I'm like suspicious of Adam.
Mhm.
And I didn't love how, yeah, how he's just like, I love you, I love you, I love, like, I could understand, I guess, how she loved him because, again, also, I don't know if we mentioned it, like, anybody she would touch, she would kill, is what she thought,
Mhm.
right? Like, she was
Or
like,
harm
yes,
her.
I would hurt
Yeah.
people. So literally any skin to skin. She could not have skin to skin with anybody without hurting them, eventually killing them. So her, I'm like, I could understand why she fell in love with Adam, I guess, like in her mind thinking that she was like loved him. But him, I'm like, what is your deal? Like, why are you all attached to her? I don't know. And so yeah, I didn't see much of a personality with him either. And then we have Warner.
I thought the whole book he was like creepo depot all the whole time. I'm like,
He was though.
I
He
don't like
was
any of it.
weird.
None of it. I was like, this just it's disgusting. Like he's gross
Mhm.
and but then I thought that's how he was supposed to be. And then everyone's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I love him." I'm like, "What?" And I will say we in my Kindle version that I read, the novella was attached
Mhm.
to the first book. So I did read the novella because it was right there and it
It
was
was
kind
like
of big. It was like 100 pages.
it was what did I tell you? It was like 25% of the
Yeah.
book, of the ebook was the
Yeah.
novella.
Yeah, it was like over 100 pages, I think. So it was a
Mhm.
considerable chunk. Um I liked Warner a lot better after reading that novella. And it made me wonder, like, why did we not do this dual POV the whole time?
That's a good question. I think that everything it makes me wonder because even what I said, how the author made three and then was like, let me go and explain more. I really feel like she's just like typing away, like living her best life, and then being like, uh-oh, this doesn't make sense. Or
You
like
have questions. Yeah.
people being like, that's creepy. I don't know. I'm gonna say devil's advocate against Warner because I know everybody loves him and I know what he becomes and whatever, whatever. But it's still gross to me. Like in book one, like his behaviors are creepy and weird, and they're weird. Very strange, odd man. And then, like, the whole time, like, I know I am perceptive enough to be like, okay, I'm sure he has some story, and he does. But, like, anything in criminal justice, like in college, they all do. Like, all the creeps have a sob story, and you're like, oh, I feel so bad for them. Like, this is why they are like the way they are because they got someone hurt them. And like, and I see that side, but then I'm like, yeah, but the behavior is still creepy. So I don't know. I did struggle with him in this book, and I was like, I did not love his vibe in book one. I will say that.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like he was, I don't know. I didn't love anyone, honestly. I was intrigued. Here's one thing I will say about here's where I think the book fell flat the most to me. I think it did not have any world building at all. And I think that's what made it fall flat because I was confused. Like, we kept hearing, like, oh, I recognize Adam. But then we didn't know. I think that would have been a good point, maybe, to stop the story and then maybe do like a few chapters of her story. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
10 years ago and then tell her story of how she was abused as a child, how
Mhm.
she kept hurting people, how she saw Adam, how like that, and then been like, okay, back to the present. Then we'd be like, oh, okay, like that. I don't know. I would have been okay with that. Or maybe starting the book and sharing like where she's at, why she's there, what's going on in the world right now. We don't know. And it
Mhm.
might, like you said, be an artistic thing where the author doesn't want you to know. She wants you to feel just as confused as Juliet. But Juliet refers to stuff like there are no birds, there are no
Mhm.
animals anymore. there's sickness, there's starvation. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. I felt like very confused. I'm like, I don't know what the world is right now. Like, what world are we living in? What is going on? I was largely confused.
And me having read to where I am, so I haven't finished the series, but me having read where I am, I have finished like what was the trilogy. So like what she had,
Oh,
finished.
yeah.
And I would say I still couldn't tell you based on the trilogy, like the world building. I don't feel like it ever fully came.
It probably wasn't for that. It was probably just a very, very
Yeah.
mild dystopian book, but really it was a setting for a YA romance. Yes.
Yeah. And this is the thing is like everything that I'm saying, I'm like, you would think that I hated the book. This is the perfect example of I did not say it was good. I just said that I liked it
Like your
because
Hallmark movies. Yeah.
there's so many things that I could make a list of the things that I'm like, no, this that it wasn't that deep. There was, very shallow to me in the characters, in their relationships. The world building was not great, but I'm like, I don't know. I was flipping the pages. I dove into the novella. After that, I dove into book two. Like I'm on this journey now. And Kenji, the side character, I loved him. He was like in each book as it has progressed, I'm like, I'm reading it for Kenji at this point because he's just my favorite. He actually, to me, has personality, and I've really liked him a lot. He's the exception for me in the series. The rest of them, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And I haven't finished the series, so I don't know. I continued reading the series, and I am now on book four. Do you plan on continuing the series?
So I was, I read the first one and the novella after that, and then book two, I have book two downloaded on my Kindle, but then I was like, well, I'm gonna finish up this other book I was in the middle of. So I did. And then you were like already finishing three, but you were like having mixed feelings about the rest of them, very much so. And so I was like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Because you were very much like, so this book was like a solid like 3.5 stars for me. I don't usually give half stars, but it was like a solid 3.5. So like if I told someone, if they're like, do you like that series? I'd be like, or that book, I'd be like, I mean, I liked it. Like that's how I would describe it. So I'm like, 3.5. But then you were like, oh, it gets crazier and I don't know if it gets much better or like in your opinion.
Okay, so here's my thing. If you read book one and you're like, oh, I like it, this was fun. You read the novella and you're like, oh, I like it, this was fun. Continue because if you're having fun, then you'll probably keep enjoying the journey. Now, whether it's like, I would not say it's 5 stars. None of them for me have been 5 stars, but I've still been enjoying the overall chaos of the series. Now, I did have someone DM me and she was like, I read book one a while ago. I did not like it. Should I continue reading them? Does it change? Does it improve? Whatever. My answer to that would be no. Like, if you read book one and you're not into it, I would not say, oh, just wait. Number two, number two is
Yeah,
where it all
like
changes. Like,
ACOTAR, you're like it totally changes in book two if you
yeah,
don't like book one.
that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I think it's fun, but I don't think there's anything deep and meaningful personally. Now, if you think that there is deep and meaningful in the series, then, I respect it. I do think this has like a cult following, and part of me was like, I don't get it. But then also I'm like, well, here I am. It's been like a week and a half and I'm
Like
want
almost
to go
finished it.
home. Yeah. So clearly there's something in here, some juju.
I still liked it. I still liked it. But I think I think if I had read it a lot younger, I would have had less problems with like the insta love and then like the toxic feeling of the relationships, or like I say toxic being it felt like all physical. Like all she was that was it. She's like, I can touch him, which I get it. Like I fully get it. Like she's like, I've never been touched as a person. I mean, you get all sorts of child issues that way. I mean, in normal life. So I get it. And then she's like, well, there's this person I can touch. That's amazing. Obviously, you're going to have issues. I was very intrigued how at the very end she could touch Warner. And then Warner's perspective, because I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this book. I'm not sure. But then Warner's perspective, I was like, I loved that novella. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Juliet, meh, not really a big fan of Juliet. I like her name, but that's about it. And then Warner, I don't like him. I don't like him, but I liked the writing style a lot better. I
Mm-hmm.
understood him, which I've always said, I'm okay. Like if you understand a character, I can get on board with it. So
Yeah.
Juliet, I didn't understand. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I didn't think she was like insane because she kept saying that over and over and I'm insane, I'm crazy. And I'm like, obviously you're just abused, but what 17-year-old can
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
rationalize that?
I think Warner, the novella for Warner did give him a lot more depth,
Mm-hmm.
like more of a backstory. Like they gave us more because we are told like some here and there about Juliet's backstory, but like we don't really know. They haven't really given you there's a lot of mystery of like, well, where did she come from, you know? Warner, they give us a little bit more, I think, with his backstory and with his like history and whatnot. So, and that was also because I didn't know. I did not know. I still don't know the answers of like what is endgame, but I felt more okay with the Insta Love too because I didn't ultimately feel like Adam was going to make it long term. Like I was just like, there's no way that
He's happily ever after.
yeah, that she's gonna like be all insta love with him and then, make it. So I was like, okay, I'm fine, like get him in and out, you know? Insta love because it's probably not gonna be him as Endgame. So, and then when we got Warner's POV, to me, I was like, oh, okay. So that
Mm-hmm.
in my brain was like, oh, then Adam, get out of the way then. This isn't your POV, so that has to say
Mm-hmm.
something too.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think I would have liked a lot more world building, a little bit more knowledge of what exactly is going on, but I still liked it. I liked it. I liked like it was gritty and dark, darker than I thought. Like I was like, oh, people are getting like executed right in the middle of the, you know,
Hmm.
play in the town square, wherever they were.
Oh yeah.
Felt very Nazi-ish to me. Um, so yeah, I liked it. I might honestly, I don't think I'm going to like the second, but I think I will read on. Like it's one of those things that like you just give it a rest and then randomly you're like, I wonder what happens in the rest of that series, and then you go back and finish it.
And because there's not a whole lot of world building, I think you'd be okay pausing. Like, I don't think you'd forget anything that's vital, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not like a super complex, a million plot things to follow and let me reread. Like, I think you'd probably be okay, like, diving in. And I did say this on my Instagram. There was a feature on the ebook that says, like, oh, you need a recap? Here's a recap of
Oh,
book.
yes.
So I
I
thought
don't
that
think I've
was
ever
nice.
seen anybody else do that. Was it like a short recap?
Yeah, I mean, it was like if you're on your Kindle, it was just like, I don't know, like 5 paragraphs, but like
No.
it was enough detail. Like it wasn't just a synopsis. It was like spoiler things. I thought was nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Okay. How many stars did you give it?
4.
That's not bad. But you haven't given anything a 5 in the series yet.
No, and I think the reason why is because everything I just want more. More world building, more of her character or more of explanation of things. Like I feel like there's so much that's just kind of left out, but I still enjoyed it a lot. Like it was really fun. And I read a lot and I enjoy a lot of books, but I don't always have like that fun feeling where you're like, oh, this is fun. Like for me, I
Mm-hmm.
binged it. I binged it and then I kept on reading. Like I was on or the trip to Oklahoma and I read that was when I like read I don't even know like the first four or like the novellas and then whatever. So I it was fun and I had a good time. They're not perfect for me and I can see why people don't like them, but I also can see why people do love them because they hook you in. They hooked me in at least, and I did have a
Mm-hmm.
fun time.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun book and I easily bingeable for sure. Okay, okay. So let's talk about next book. We don't know, for you guys listening, we don't know what the next book's going to be. So, do you want to spin it?
Are you doing it now?
Yeah, I thought that'd be fun.
Ooh.
But I'm going to
Okay.
record it. I'll record it on my phone too.
Okay.
Okay, so just a recap. I took
What?
off Shatter Me.
Okay, what's
So,
our
we took
options?
yeah. So, we have seven options now. The Hunger Games and Divergent. Those are the first two. Those are old ones, so those would be rereads for us. Shield of Sparrows, that's like the hot book right now that everyone's reading.
Mhm.
The Kiss of Deception, which is the what is that series? It's the
I don't know, but it's by Mary.
yes,
Mary's.
yes, Pearson or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When the Day Comes, that's the one that Susie read or has binged also right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
like time travel and dual timeline. I don't know. And I've heard good things about that one. The Prison Healer,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy, and then A Word So Fitly Spoken. That was another one that someone suggested. Okay. So let's see what's next. Let me turn on my screen recording so I can have it running.
Accountability.
Yeah. All right, it's spinning. Let me see if you can see it.
I mean, I see it spinning.
I'm nervous. Oh. When the day comes, Susie's gonna be so happy. Hannah's
I'm not
shaking
gonna
her head
lie,
right now.
that is the one I least wanted to be picked. I was like, anything but that, please.
When the day comes. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna try it.
Is it KU?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It'll be good. It'll be good because see, I'm in the middle of my I'm in the middle of my dystopian. So if we had gotten another dystopian, then I would just what would I do? So
It almost was the kiss of deception. I was like, oh, it's gonna be that one. Nope.
this is 1 out of 6.
Oh wow.
Are they standalones? They
I
better
don't I
be.
don't know.
Well, that's fine.
She's like, it'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
You're getting our live reaction.
What if you love it?
I might. I maybe I
You
will.
always sometimes you're always surprised by books that you're
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna like this, and you're like, oh,
it's good. It's fine. I know nothing about it, guys. So I'm just judging it off the fact that it's
the
like,
cover.
yeah, I'm like, what is this World War II historical Kristen Hannah? I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. So that's the next one, guys. You'll have a few weeks. So no rush, I guess, but
Yeah.
that's coming next. So if you want to read it, oh, that's the update. So you can find me on Instagram at Hilary Reads, and I'll speak for Hannah because she has food in her mouth at Hannah Reads for Hannah, and the podcast is at Don't You Two Read podcast. Um, we also are on Fable, the app, and we have Shatter Me on there, and I will add probably pretty soon this one, but you can always go back and look at all our thoughts on Shatter Me anytime you want. Just look at past books and you can add your own comments or whatever you want. You can do that for old books, but the current book, I'll add this one. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Follow us for real-time updates on our Instagram and we'll see. It seemed like a lot of people were going to read Shatter Me or just like follow along. So whether you've read it or not, we hope that you enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, it's always a good time. It's always a good time. Not always a good book, but always a good
Yeah,
time.
that should be our motto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.